Okay, episode 6. Let's get right into this. So we start this episode off with Boyd going to the diner to speak to Kenny's mom, and he immediately starts copping a plea about his decision to hide Sarah, and she's not going for any of it. The entire time he's talking, she's just looking at him like, "Shut your lame ass up." But he continues to try to explain, and as he's explaining, and he is looking at Boyd like,
"I know that ain't who I think it is."
And he goes right at him like he's ready to fight, like,
"What are you doing here? Huh? What are you doing here?"
So Boyd gets up and leaves, and as he's walking, he makes it to the church. But as he opens the door, it's completely empty, and he sees that goddamn music box. Then as he examines the room, like, this dude is really going through it. Then she starts dancing toward him, and he's just standing there. I would have been like, "Move, bitch!" But then Boyd does the unthinkable. He starts dancing with her.
"I'm not watching this! Look!"
And then... But it turns out it was all in his head, and he actually just busted his shit trying to leave the diner. Like, bruh, what is happening to Boyd? You know you're going out sad when even Kenny had to come help scrape his ass up off the floor. But of course, Kenny, being a good person he is, decides to help Boyd walk to the clinic. Then we cut to Ellis and Colony House, and they're all taking their food inventory, and it turns out they're running out of food, and Donna wants Ellis and Fatima to oversee the nightly lockdown. But she also tells them not to mention the food shortage to anyone. And with good reason, of course, because all that's gonna do is cause panic, and who knows, motherfuckers might start eating each other knowing the people in this town. But now we cut back to Kenny and Boyd walking through the woods. And as soon as Boyd is about to attempt to apologize to Kenny, Kenny can see it from a mile away and just looks at him like, "Oh, hell no, man, what the fuck, man?" And cuts him off before he can get it out and tells him he's gonna leave. But then as soon as Kenny's about to walk away, okay, now he's just doing anything. But when this happens, Boyd tries to explain everything that's been going on with him, but as he's explaining, he hears that goddamn music box.
You hear that?
And as soon as Boyd sees it, he starts walking toward it, but Kenny is just kind of there confused because he can't see any of this. And Boyd sees that same ballerina again, but this time instead of dancing, she just kind of smirks and walks past him. And now Boyd is just standing there lost in the sauce like,
"Is this allowed? What the fuck? Is that allowed?"
And rightfully so. So Boyd eventually says, "We gotta get out of here because night's about to fall." And now they arrive at the clinic, and Boyd finally decides to open up about what's been going on with him ever since he got lost in the woods.
He cut me, and then he put his bloody wrist up against my arm and said, "My blood is your blood now."
And he mentions the worms that have been crawling around under his skin. But of course they're not reacting in the moment, so Chrissy can't see them. So she's just sitting there like, "You're a victim." But of course, as they continue talking, he basically tells her if things get too bad with him to off him, because he doesn't want to end up like Martin did in that cave. And now we cut back to Colony House, and Jim is expressing his concerns about the food shortage and tells Donna she should have said something sooner. So in response, Donna says,
"And when was I supposed to do that, Jim? When you were stuck under the house that fell on you?"
Emotional damage.
like, goddamn, Donna, I understand we're all stressed and he probably just pissed you off, but his family's sitting right there at the table. Then Jim says it's all a part of it, basically tying this all back to his theory of them being trapped in some kind of experiment, and everybody is just looking at him like,
"Oh, brother, this guy stinks!"
And now we cut back to Boyd at the clinic by himself. And of course, he starts hearing that damn music box. And as he looks over, like, damn, this guy just can't catch a break. And what do you think he does? Yeah, he walks toward the curtain he sees the silhouette behind.
"Is this nigga serious?"
And as he attempts to open the curtain, she somehow grabs him from behind.
Mom. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Call for your mama.
And forces him to the bed and tries to suffocate him. Like, just look at the struggle in bro's face. He's looking like,
"Help me! Help me! Nigga!"
And as he finally snaps out of the trance, Chrissy's fiance walks in, and Boyd is just like,
What the
But as he does this, he comes to his senses and he's like, oh nah, I'm tweaking, and sits the gun down. And then he just sits there like, oh nah, what was I just thinking? But then we cut back to Colony House, and of course there's a bit of commotion, and this old man is accusing Elgin of stealing food, and Ellis is trying to defuse the situation. And as Fatima cuts in and tells him nobody's hiding anything, he says,
nobody is hiding anything.
Oh, why don't you shut the fuck up? I'm sick and tired of all you
better watch.
and Ellis wasn't going for none of that. He immediately,
Watch your fucking mouth.
so he responds to Ellis and says, we can't have any of these new people stealing what little bit of food we have. And then he pulls a knife on Elgin, and as Ellis is trying to calm him down,
No one is trying to hurt you. Get outside. Gail, come on. Get off me.
and I'm just watching this like,
No.
and after he stabs Ellis, he has the nerve to say I'm sorry. Like he's about to just get a Mario 1-up and be just fine. Then this man Ellis pulls the knife out of the wound, and at this point I'm just looking at him like,
okay, get in.
and as he removes the knife, he just starts gushing blood, and they're all trying to apply pressure, but he's not making it through the night at this rate. But then we cut back to the clinic, and Boyd is staring at that blood stain that used to be Kenny's father. But of course, the hallucination of Father Khatri shows up and starts talking to Boyd, and he's telling Boyd how much he's grown as a person. But as this is happening,
Boyd. Who are you talking to?
but Boyd refuses to answer.
Nobody, just thinking out loud.
No. Who were you talking to?
Get out of my way.
I'm not leaving this room until I know it's safe.
Then Boyd finally tells him,
Khatri. I was talking to Father Khatri. I know how this looks, but something happened to me out there. I came back with something inside my body. All I know is that it's real.
But now we cut back to Colony House, and Ellis is looking even worse. So they come to the conclusion that they have to get Ellis to the clinic now. Fuck waiting until morning. And Ellis says he doesn't think he'll be able to make it to the van in time. But Elgin is just like,
Fine, I'll do it myself.
and Elgin makes it to the van and just narrowly avoids the monsters going savage mode on him. As soon as they get Ellis outside, the monsters just start popping up like,
Mine.
but thankfully they get Ellis to the van, and as they make it to the clinic, Christy hears them out front like, and they hurry Ellis to a bed and start treating him. And as they're doing this, Boyd comes running in like, and they tell Boyd that Ellis is gonna need some blood, but of course Boyd has those worms under his skin, so he refuses to give the transfusion. And upon hearing this, Kenny is just like, and as they tell Boyd to sit down and give the blood, this happens.
God.
Oh my god.
Damn it.
And now they're all looking at each other like,
Jesus Christ.
but then Kenny just tells Boyd to give him the parasite so he can give Ellis the blood and they can figure the rest out later. But Boyd,
We'll figure out the rest later.
No.
NANI? Oh my god.
but then Boyd does something I never would have thought in a million years he would have done.
Has to go somewhere, right?
The next day, the motherfucker was dead.
He runs outside and is basically saying he wants all the smoke. Then, and I'm just thinking, okay, let's see how he's gonna get himself out of this one. But then another monster shows up.
One of my niggas, bring 2 niggas. Then 2 niggas, go get 3.
And as they continue to pop out the cut, Boyd is just standing there looking like,
Let me stop playing before I get my ass dealt with.
and as the main one approaches him, Boyd cuts his own hand, then cuts the main monster's throat. And I'm honestly at this point kind of thinking to myself, like, why hasn't this nigga
Muy bien. Muy bien.
yet? I'm not complaining, but we seen them hop on motherfuckers in the past, so what was different in this instance? But anyway, Boyd goes for it.
My blood is your blood now, motherfucker.
Then this motherfucker gonna say,
I like this game.
thinking he was like that, but then a couple seconds later, and now I'm just thinking, like, did Boyd really just drop the first body on the ops? But we all know they still way down on the score. But as Boyd goes inside, the monsters all scatter away slowly as usual. And now that Boyd got that out the way, he sits down and decides to give the transfusion. I know Fatima gotta be super relaxed right now, and that old nigga who stabbed Ellis is definitely about to be on box watch. But maybe I spoke too soon about Fatima, because in the midst of these fucked up circumstances, she goes to Christy and tells her she thinks she's pregnant. But then we cut back to Kenny and Boyd staring down at the body of the dead monster they just killed. And the way they're looking at it reminded me of how homie was at the end of Jeepers Creepers waiting for him to pop out again. And the episode ends. Now, I know this is last week's episode, but just bear with me. I had a lot going on. I'm definitely dropping the recap for episode 7 this week also. I didn't forget, but yeah, I just had to get episode 6 out because I had already written it, and I was just like, I didn't want all that hard work to go to waste. But yes, episode 7 will be dropping this week along with it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been MarblePluto. Until next time.